Did you know Dollar Tree wood items make the cutest DIY crafts? Let me show you. It's so easy. I found this house at Dollar Tree, just kind of like a faux wood looking thing. It's probably MDF board. And then I have these, that's like a faux leather wood, and the other two are wood. And so they came from two different packets from the Dollar Tree. And then I've got this gorgeous kind of cord that I got at Hobby Lobby when it was on 40% off last year. It's beautiful. I'm going to take off the hanger that came with it because we're not going to use that one. I'll just save it for another project. I'm going to put some tape down and roll it around so it's sticky on both sides, and then put my words down with it. That way when I'm painting them, they'll stay in place and I don't have to touch them. I'm going to use the Amy Howard Home Bauhaus Buff. It's like a cream color. You've probably seen me use it before. It's just a really nice coverage and it's a pretty color. It almost looks white, but it's slightly off-white. I'm going to do the thing where you make two knots and you cut off the ends and then you hot glue them right over the holes, and then I will put the cord on the back so it looks like they're coming through the holes, because some of these cords are too big to get through the holes, and so this is such a nice way to do it. Anyway, I will just hot glue it on the back, and then I cut a couple little teeny pieces of burlap and hot glue them right over the top to secure it, and that way it still looks finished on the back and everything is good to go. And I just love doing that, and you know how I like my backs to look nice. This is Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm going to put it very lightly all over the back of the words. And once I get that on there, I can just lay them right down on the wood. It dries clear, and that works out great. The reason I didn't do hot glue is that by the time you get to the last letter, the first letter has already dried and it creates lumps. So when I'm doing a word with a lot of letters like this, or a small font word, I will put a glue on the back that's not a hot glue. So I'm going to do the same thing to the word blessed and the word grateful. Besties, I hope that you guys know how much you mean to me, how much I appreciate you, and I love this community we have. Everyone is so kind to one another, chatting in the comments. I feel like we're all just, crafting besties, and I really appreciate it so much. You're so supportive of each other. People have been praying for each other, making nice comments. Thank you so, so much. I mean, yes, there are the occasional people that aren't positive, but you know what? Maybe they had a bad day, so, we'll just let it go and hope for the best. Now that I've got all three words on there, this one is done, and I think it came out beautiful. So simple, but it's still very pretty, and I think it'll look good through the fall and even like Thanksgiving. It could actually be all year round if you really wanted to. Let me know what you think. Bicycle wreath form at the Dollar Tree. It's so cute and so versatile. This home ladder sign from the Dollar Tree. Cute piece of decor just as it is. And then a bunch of different sunflowers from the Dollar Tree. And then I've got this like floral wire. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to use this tool I got on Amazon, and it's an awesome staple remover, better than the regular kind. It gets those really deep kind of industrial staples out. And then if one side gets stuck, I just use my little nippers to pull out the rest. You'll find that in my Amazon store along with any other tools that you see me using normally. I've also got a piece of burlap, like a strip, and it's going to be wrapped around one half of the wreath, and I'm going to use the little floral wire to attach it wherever I need to so it stays in place. And I did get that burlap roll from Walmart. They have a really good deal on that. So I just wrap the little piece around and around, nip off the ends, and then I'll just keep wrapping that around until I get as much of the wreath covered as I want. I need a good place to put my sunflowers. So there you can see I've wrapped it around until I feel like enough is covered, and then I'm just going to tie it off with another floral wire, and you can see all the little spots where I attached it. And they won't show when this is all said and done. Now I'm going to take all of my sunflowers and I'm just going to nip off each of the individual flowers with a little bit of stem showing, except this one. I took the stem off because I'm going to hot glue this one right in the center. This was a little bit of a different sunflower and I wanted it to be the centerpiece. I've got this greenery. I do believe I got it on Amazon, and I'm just going to put it all the way around. I'll stab the stem through and then tie it on with that floral wire, and then you can see the whole thing now is covered over the burlap. Now I'm going to take each of those sunflowers, I'm going to stab them through as well, and I'm going to wrap each backing with the floral wire. And I usually twist 4 or 5 times to make sure it's secure. Look at that. See how the back looks? All the stems are there tied on nicely. I think this is turning out gorgeous. Now I'm just going to take that home sign And of course, you saw me remove the little bit of greenery. It just didn't go with it. I'm going to find 2 points where it's going to hit that bicycle wheel wreath form. And I'm just going to take some pipe cleaners, flatten out the middle, hot glue it to the back, and then I'll cover it with a little piece of burlap. You could use felt or thread. I learned this trick from my friend Nadia at DIY with Nadia, and I'll link her channel down below. She makes the most amazing wreaths. Now I'm just going to put it on, turn it over, and then I will twist it around one of the pieces of the wreath form, and that will hold it nice and securely. And I'll just hot glue down on the back of the letters any part of the pipe cleaner that's sticking up. I've also got a little piece of rope. I'm just going to tie it at the very top of wires and make a hanger. And this is what the back looks like. I'm going to cover it up with a little bit more of that burlap. I'll just cut it to size. I'll use 2 pieces. Instead of using the wire on this one, I will hot glue it down because I don't want any pokey wires going through the front. And that just covers it up, makes it look beautiful. And look how gorgeous this is. I actually already have it hanging on my front door. It is so bright and cheery. Let me know what you think. Book stacks each year, and I've got this cute little crate from Dollar Tree that has the slats in it, so it already looks like books. And then I'm going to use that Amy Howard at Home Bauhaus Buff Color chalk paint. I'm going to use Hazelnut and Maze by Waverly chalk paint and a little bit of chalkboard paint. This is so easy. You just decide what colors you want. I'm going to use the Maze on that first stripe at the top, and then I'll put it all the way around and on the very top. And I just do kind of 2 light coats, and I think that comes out really nice. On this one, I'm not going to paint in the slats. I'm just going to leave them natural. I'm going to use the Bauhaus Buff on the middle stripe, if you will. And then I'm going to use the hazelnut on the bottom one, and then on the very bottom kind of edges in case you see it, and inside those little handles as well. Next, I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to start writing in the middle section. I'm going to write the word and I'm just kind of doing a funny little font that I decided. And then I use for the longer words, the first one is sunshine on the top. And I always start with the last letter and then work my way to the left. That way I have the spacing just right. So that will say sunshine on the bottom. It's going to say sunflowers. And there you go. I'm just finishing that off. And you could write that any way you want. You could use stickers too, or stencil this however you want. I've got a very fine art brush, and I'm going to take that black chalkboard paint and I'm basically just going to cover up my pencil all the way around. I'm going to go nice and slow and just make sure I get a nice coverage on those letters. And like I said, just take your time, and having the pencil there really makes a difference. If I tried to do this without pencil, it would look terrible. And as it is, I still make some mistakes, but I'm okay with that. This is a homemade piece of decor. I'm going to take that buffalo check ribbon, it's wired, which I like, and I'm just going to fit it around the top into the underneath, put a little drop of hot glue on each side of the top just to hold it in place. And then I will bend it over the sides, and because of the wire, it bends very easily into the inside of that crate. And then I'll just put a drop of hot glue on either side to hold it down. I just think with sunflowers, the buffalo check looks really nice with it. I don't do a lot of buffalo check in my house, but I think this particular combination is one of my favorites. I'm going to take 3 of those little teeny sunflowers from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put a dot of hot glue. I'm going to put 3 of them on the front where there's a little spot there. Then I'm going to take the big sunflower, I'm going to nip off a big portion of that stem because it's just way too big for this. And I'm going to take off a couple of those leaves, set that underneath, bend it forward, and add some hot glue under the ribbon to hold it in place, and then you won't see the stem. Once it's on there the way I want, I am going to add back some individual leaves just to give it a little bit more of the green pop because I like that as well. I think it keeps it looking very fresh. I think this is adorable. Right now I've got it sitting on a counter shelf, but I could also put it on a tier tray. I could see this just pretty much going anywhere because it's really cute and just talk about putting you in a good mood. I hope you like this one. Some pumpkins that I got at either Hobby Lobby or Dollar Tree over the last 2 years, little baby pine cones, also from either of those 2 places. The colors fawn and cashew from Waverly along with plaster. I'm going to paint this entire crate outside, inside, between the slats, top, bottom, you name it, in the color fawn. I'm going to take the pumpkins and make sure they're neutral, so I'm going to use plaster on this particular one. I'm going to paint all the stems with the antique wax and then kind of wipe off the excess. I'm going to paint this little gourd or squash, whatever it is, in the color cashew. And of course I'll dry them all with my heat tool, and then I'm going to use that antique wax, like I said, to do the stems. And on this one, I actually think the color is neutral enough. I'm just going to add a little accent to it. take that antique wax and I'm just going to paint in the grooves of that pumpkin, the dark taupey one, to give it that depth that's kind of like contouring in the crevices, if you will. And then I'm going to do the little pumpkin that I painted plaster. I'm going to use the cashew, and the pumpkin that was already kind of that cashew color, I'm going to use the plaster as my defining color on it. And then on the gourd, I'm going to use a little bit of the plaster just to give it some accents. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm kind of alternating the colors with each pumpkin. I'm going to take the 4 little pumpkin scatter pieces that are white, and I'm going to turn them into wheels, and I'm going to sand down this cart so it makes it look a little more aged and smooth. And I'm going to take my ink Waverly chalk paint and I'm going to paint the back and front of each of those little, we'll call them wheels now. And then I'm going to get a little piece from the back of last year's Farmers Market calendar. Super cute little sign, and I'm going to use my adhesive from the Dollar Tree and just put that right on the side. I'm going to take my brayer and I'm going to smooth it down. Take a little bit of jute twine and I'm just going to wrap it around the little sign to give it a finished look. Super easy using hot glue. Then I'm going to take a white marker from Arteza and I'm just going to color in the center of the wheels. I'm going to hot glue the wheels right onto the bottom of the cart. Now, I didn't need to use E6000 or anything. This isn't going anywhere. Of course, use whatever adhesive that you're most comfortable with. And then I'm going to cut up some of the hula skirt from the Dollar Tree, assemble the pumpkins just till they look cute, and put in the pine cones. Then my little cart is all set. Then I found these mini scoops. There's 3 in a package for $1.99 at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to take one, and it just so happens it fits between the slats on the bottom of the cart perfectly. I was like, oh my gosh, because I was looking for something to use as a little, handle on the wagon. I'm going to paint that fawn color and just paint the end of it in the ink colored chalk paint. And then I'm going to hot glue it and attach it right in there. And it just, look at that, it fits perfectly. I couldn't have planned that any better. This turned out so cute and it was so fun. Let me know what you think in the comments. From the Dollar Tree, and a stencil I ordered on Amazon, that Waverly cashew and fawn colored paint. I'm going to sand off that glitter. I'm also going to use some plaster chalk paint from Waverly. I'm going to cover the whole front of the truck, and I do 2 coats. And I'm going to dry it in between with my heat tool that I also got from Amazon. And then I'm going to sand it again, make it nice and smooth so I can use my adhesive stencil. Now, some people use these stencils with chalk paste, but I just do it with regular paint. And I just dab it on with a little foam dabber, and I'm real careful about it, and it seems to work fine. Now, I like the super distressed look in this case. So if it doesn't come out perfect, I'm okay with that. And I used a little scraper tool to spread it around. Now I'm just going to piece this stencil because it's not quite as big as the body of the truck. And I'm loving the way this looks. I'm going for a very neutral look here. And so that, cashew color really did the trick. Now the fawn is what I'm going to paint the wheel wells with and those little bumpers on the side. And then I'm going to go in with some ink colored chalk paint and do the wheels. Of course, they're going to be black. What else would wheels be? I ordered these artistry brushes off of Amazon. It's a great deal. So I could do this really detailed type painting that I struggle with if I don't have a good brush. So I'm going to do the little white in the center of the wheels. I'm going to touch up my paint in the wheel wells, and then I'm going to sand all the paint surfaces and just kind of dull it down a little bit because I want it to be softer. And then I'm going to sand the edges as well so that you kind of gets that distressed look to it. Not too hard, just a little bit, and then around the entire truck. Now I have last year's Farmers Market calendar, and in the back there's the little pictures of the calendar pages, and I'm going to cut out the locally grown. And I'm going to end up getting a scrap piece of wood that I have. I'm just going to pull off the two sides. It's from a Dollar Tree piece that I didn't use all of it. Sand it down, and then I'm going to use the cashew paint and get my brush wet first. And then I'm going to lightly paint, almost like making a stain out of it. And just going to use my mister and then just spray that, and it'll go on really nice and light. And I'll do the front and the edges, and I don't need to do the back because that will be attached to the truck. Next, I'm going to cut a little piece of burlap, and I got that at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just cutting it, and then I'm going to fray the edges just a little bit. Use my little adhesive glue from the Dollar Tree with a nice fine point and some hot glue to make sure it stays down. And then I'm going to put my little locally grown sign right on there. Use my brayer, smooth it out, take some jute twine from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut 4 pieces. I'm going to hot glue them right around the edges of that little sign so that you don't see the ends of the paper, and then it just fades right into the burlap and it looks like it's part of it. I just love the way that looks. Next, I'm going to put some of my adhesive and hot glue on there, and that way I get a nice hold, and put that like on the side of the truck as if it's sort of advertising what business it is. Now this is my miter shears, and it just cuts through these shims so easily, and anything that's not too thick for wood. And I'm going to make the little side panels of the back of the truck. I'm just going to do 2 across and 2 going down on either side. I'm not making them perfect. I want this to be very rustic. I'm going to hot glue them and attach them. I'm going to use my cashew chalk paint, and I'm going to paint one of my little pumpkins that I used in a project last year and had already cut in half. I am going to take a little piece of a skewer, I'm going to snip it off and use antique wax to make it look like the pumpkin stem. I'm just going to use the antique wax to make all the stems look similar and then wipe away the excess. Now I'm going to cut this pumpkin in half the opposite direction so that you see the top of it instead of the side of it. And now I'm just going to hot glue it directly onto like the bed of the truck so it looks like it's all stacked up in there. And by the way, I made little stems with the skewer stick for all those little baby pumpkins. Now I've got this kind of wheat looking or cattails. I got some of them at Hobby Lobby on 40% off and some at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut them apart and just place them around and hot glue them. Now I like to finish the back of my project, so I'm going to use my ink colored chalk paint from Waverly and just paint the back. I thought with the shape it is, it'll look so much better than the craft paper. And this one's done and I love it. Let me know what you think. Are you ready for more inspiration? I've got another video here I think you will really like. Click on it. I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye.